Isn't that a thrilling sound? Half-time at the ball game, and now the cheers are for the band, and especially for the talented, colorful people who lead the parade. The Baton Twirlers. Looks intricate, doesn't it? The way they handle those batons. Watch as they toss them high in the air, and see the sunlight create beautiful flashing images as they spin fast in the hands of a young fellow or girl just like you. That could be you out there. You now have the proper equipment to get you off to a good start in baton twirling. A real suburban baton. And now on this recording, I'm going to give you some of the necessary fundamentals in the art of baton twirling. It is an art, but one that any boy or girl can conquer by following instructions and devoting as much time as possible to practice. As the days go by, more and more your twirling will become second nature to you. You'll be able to twirl with your eyes closed. A good baton twirler is ambidextrous. That is, he can handle his baton with either his left hand or his right hand, and is capable of changing from one to the other with the freedom of motion that all good athletes have. For most of us, this would be very difficult, as we are generally right or left-handed. And that's where the practice and concentration comes in. Now first, let's learn to grip the baton. Place it on a table in front of you, with the ball end to the left. Find the exact center of the baton, and then slide your hand palm up under the shaft, about an inch left of this center point. Now simply close your fingers around the shaft, laying your thumb gently but firmly across the shaft. That completes your grip. Firmly but gently. In just a moment, we'll practice marking time so that you can get the feel of your baton. Now, one of the things you must look for is the wobble. Don't allow your baton to wobble even a little, or it will appear that you do not have the proper control. All movements should be graceful and confident. And even though the high stepping that looks so beautiful in a street parade or on the ball field may seem unnatural at first, with a few hours of rehearsal, this too will become second nature to you. Now, let's learn to mark time. Most march music is to the beat of two. The one beat on the left foot, the two beat on the right. Like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, left, right, 1, 2, left, right, 1, 2, left, right. That's good. Now, if you're the drum major whose job it is to lead the band, you would have various signals. And although they differ from one band to the other, there's one signal used by most band directors. The first downward motion of your baton will indicate the first beat of the music. The second beat will be the up motion, and so on. That first downward motion is the downbeat, which I'm sure you've heard of. And it should be clear and crisp, with the baton held high in the air so that all band members can see the signal for the start of the music. Let's take an example. There's the first whistle. This whistle has called your band to attention. Your baton is raised high in the air. Now the second whistle will indicate that the downbeat will follow immediately. There it is, and down comes the baton. After the band has started, you may then vary your movements, adding twirls and tosses, figure eights, and anything else you might have in your bag of baton tricks. But then, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Get yourself a good recording of march music and practice the simple handling of the baton with both hands until you're sure you have the necessary control with either hand. Now, let's learn a simple twirl. It is called the flam or side twirl, in which most of the work is performed by the wrist. And I'll tell you all about it on the other side. In the flam or side twirl, most of the work is performed by the wrist. Reverse your grip so that if you should hold your arm straight out, the ball this time would be at the top. The shaft should be deep in the crevice between the thumb and the first finger. Now simply drop your arm to your side. Your hand will turn at the wrist in a rotary motion. The ball end will always pass under your arm. and the other end always on the outside of your arm. Keep your hand in one position at first until you've mastered this twirl, which should help you strengthen your wrist properly. And after this has been done with both hands and you're confident of your ability, then you can proceed to other variations of the flam or side twirl, such as an over-the-head position out to the side of the body with the arm extended, and there are many others. You'll find that these will all come naturally once you've mastered this first twirl. Now let's review it once again slowly. With the arm at the side, ball to the front, we start the side twirl. The ball end moving forward, passing under the arm. The other end always on the outside. Now the rest is up to you. The next twirl I'd like to teach you is a simple variation of the side twirl, but a very effective one if executed properly. It's called the figure eight. For this twirl, the arm is moved back and forth in front of the body. The movement starts with the arm extended comfortably to the front. The ball end leads once again. As your wrist starts the baton moving towards the front, you then move your arm so that the ball end will be at the bottom when your arm is to the extreme left. In other words, as you move the ball forward, your arm moves to the left. As your wrist continues the twirl, your arm starts back towards the center of your body. The ball should reach the top of its arc at about this time, and should then start the second half of your figure eight on the outside of your wrist, with the ball now starting its dip to the right as it completes a figure eight. And then the wrist and arm returns to the original starting position, and you continue your figure eights for as long as you wish. Now use as much wrist action as you can so that the baton appears to be spinning on a perfect axis. The figure eight will be visible from the front, but from the side the baton appears to spin in a continuous twirl. Now let's start once again. I'm going to count 4. On 1, the ball end of your baton will be to the left of your body at the bottom. On 2, it will complete its twirl and return to the original position. On 3, the ball will be at the bottom at the extreme right. And on 4, you complete the figure eight, and the ball returns to its starting point once again. Now here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should have completed your first figure eight. Now let's do it slowly once again and stop at each point. Here we go. 1. Ball at its lowest point to the extreme left. 2. The ball is back to the starting point. 3. Ball at its lowest point to the right. Now hold that just a moment. Please note that your wrist has turned so that it may accommodate this outside twirl. And 4. Now your baton is back in its original position. Naturally, you won't have to count once you learn the figure eight, and you'll be able to do it endlessly and gracefully with just a little practice. Let me emphasize once again that you must learn to use both hands in all your twirling, so do not move on to the next twirl until you have mastered the flam or side twirl and the figure eight with the left as well as the right hand. Learn to do them all as naturally and as freely as you can. And I know that the next time we meet, you'll be doing tricks with your prep baton that you didn't think were possible. Good luck, and remember, the only way to become perfect at anything is to practice diligently. So long.